Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to show you how to install mods for GTR2. Most mods that you download will come in a zip folder like this one. Occasionally you'll come across one that's an executable instead of a zip folder, but you can use pretty much the same methodology for installing those mods as well. So here you can see we have the zip folder with this historic Trans Am mod. Now within this folder you'll see there's a couple of folders in here. For example, this UI data folder, this changes the game UI somewhat. You may or may not want that. It's not necessarily essential. Some mods come with some UI changes or some other stuff. And one thing you have to be careful with when installing mods for GTR2 is sometimes people will overwrite files in the base game, and you probably don't want to do that. But here's our other folder in here, the game data folder. This is where most of the information for the mod is. These files here define the class within the game selection menu. So when you're scrolling through your different classes of cars that are available, different sets of cars that are available, this is what makes those show up there. Now within here, you'll see there's some more folders. Some other mods might have more folders than this, like they might come with some driver files in the talent folder. But the main one, well, the main two folders you want to be concerned with are the teams folder, which in here, this defines all the cars and contains all the paints for the mod. Like for example, if we go in here and look at the Abarth, you see here are all the files that define that car. And then these folders are the individual paints and drivers within these folders here. And then we have, of course, our sounds folder, which contains all your sounds for all the different cars, which you definitely want that because driving a silent car is no fun. And also, additionally, some mods will come with championships, which you don't have to install this necessarily, but if you want to run the championships, you might want to. The only problem with this is that when you install these, if you want to run the championship, you have to make sure you have the tracks that are included within the schedules, or else it won't work. Or you can go in and manually edit the schedules to use tracks that you do have installed. So now to install this mod, first we'll take this game data folder and unzip it to our desktop. This may take a second here. You can see all the files unzipping. Like I said, I'm going to leave the UI folder alone because I don't want to overwrite my UI. Some people may want to, or there may be some mods that need the UI overwritten for one reason or another. But in this case, we'll just leave the UI alone. So we're sitting here waiting for all this stuff to finish unzipping. As you can tell, these are slightly large files. So now we have that game data folder on our desktop. Now we need to navigate to our GTR2 installation, which I have the Steam installation. So I need to navigate to my Steam folder. If you've watched my other videos, you'll know that the path is slightly different if you need to do this with the disk version. So now we're here in the main GTR2 folder, and you can see there's here the game data folder. We go in here and you see some similar folders like teams, sounds, and championships. So what you can do, the easiest way to do this is just grab this game data folder from your desktop and drag it into the main GTR2 folder, and Windows will ask you if you want to merge, or well, it depends on which version of Windows. Windows 10 apparently does not. But now, if you go in here, you'll see there's now historic Trans Am folders in my teams. So I would be able to go into the game and select these vehicles and this class if I wanted to race. Now, there are some mods that, again, when you go to copy in your game data folder, it may ask if you want to overwrite files. I usually say no to that. So unless you have a good reason or you know what you're doing, I wouldn't overwrite any of the files, because oftentimes they'll change some things or they might overwrite your UI, which you may not want to do. But that's basically how you install a mod. I mean, some mods are a little more complicated to install than others. It may have more folders, or like they may have talent files that define the drivers in the mod. But outside of that, that's pretty much what you need to do to install any mods that you have for GTR2. Now with the executables, like I said before, will be just a little bit different. You can install it directly to your GTR2 folder, but again, I would advise against that just because of the fact that it may overwrite some files you don't want overwritten. So I would use the executable to install to the desktop and then drag the folders from your desktop into the GTR2 install. I hope this video has been helpful. Go find yourself some good mods and have fun.